From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Hello everyone, welcome to OpenLine. I am Ben Hall, and tonight we're kind of shifting away from the election. We're talking about our veterans and some of the best programs out there to help our veterans. So hopefully you'll watch tonight and be inspired in some way. We will be highlighting some of the best programs out there. Happy to have with us people who oversee, who have started one of those programs that we really want to focus on. Mac Hagewood, Kevin Brooks, veteran sportsman. Thank you both for being with us.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
So Mac, what is this program, Veteran Sportsman? What is it?
Veteran Sportsman was created because of a simple reason. People are nice enough to tell veterans nowadays, thank you for your service. But it occurred to me once upon a time that it'd be a little bit nicer if somebody actually did something with the veteran. So last May we took some veterans to NASCAR at Talladega, and then this September 17th we had a fishing tournament, and we had prayed for 15 boats, and we got 30. So we were able to take 35 vets out, and next year is looking bigger and better, and we're going to do more things.
And why is this important? And Kevin, why do you think this is so important?
Just to give thanks. The appreciation that you get from these guys when they tell you thank you, how good of a time they had. They meet each other, talk to each other. You've got big age groups. It's just the appreciation is awesome. I mean, it's like no other.
What I want to do is really drill down into the program. Now, this is part of our salute to veterans. You all are one of the winners of this program. We have done a story, a report that is aired in several different newscasts about each one of the winners. And so we have the Sportsman program that you all did. We want to show that story and then come back and talk more about exactly what they do. So let's take a look at that story, then come back and talk about it.
There is a camaraderie among veterans that is hard to describe.
You just become family. That's the best way I know to put it. In some cases, more than your own family, perhaps. But it's real, and it's for a lifetime. It's a wonderful thing.
Soldiers, airmen, Marines, sailors.
I'm Mac Hagewood, United States Army, 1970 to 74. I was an officer.
Mac Hagewood served his time in Panama as the Vietnam War was winding down. Today, his focus is on fellow veterans.
About 30 years went by where you weren't real proud of being a veteran. And then things changed and people began to say thank you for your service. And that was nice. But one day it occurred to me that it would be nicer if you actually did something with a veteran.
Mac loves to hunt and fish. He also loves NASCAR. So a few years ago, he founded the nonprofit Veteran Sportsman. The idea was simple. Take veterans on fishing and hunting trips or to a NASCAR race like Talladega, free of charge.
It's very humbling to be able to do this.
And expensive. Organizing the first fishing tournament wasn't easy. Until one day, by chance, he met Kevin Brooks.
My name's Kevin Brooks. I served in the United States Navy from 1990 to 1994. And as soon as I heard what he was wanting to do, I had to be a part of it. And I told him, I'm in. I want to be part of this.
Together, they raised money, gathered donations, and invited area veterans to a fishing tournament on Percy Priest Lake last month.
We had a World War II veteran there, and we've had guys that are probably 22 years old there. So big age difference.
It was a huge success, with 95 people taking part. So Hagewood decided to nominate his friend for our Salute to Veterans program.
The reason I nominated him was very simple. That tournament would not have been possible without Kevin. And he went so far as to put off his hip surgery until after the tournament, which was unreal because this man was in a lot of pain.
He said, I gotta let you know I nominated you for the Channel 5 veterans thing. I just started laughing. He said, what's funny? I said, well, I nominated you like 3-4 days ago. And he's like, well, you're supposed to let me know. I said, I'm letting you know right now. So,
without knowing, the two nominated each other, a shared friendship and a shared recognition of their service to fellow veterans.
It's an honor. Anything for veterans, I mean, it's amazing, it really is.
So that's great. You two nominated each other. Didn't even know it. I think that's great. And I want to, all right, so why do you feel like this is so important?
One of the facts I found out a couple of years ago is that a lot of veterans are committing suicide every day, primarily because of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And the current number attributed to that number by the VA right now is 22. Not real sure why they're sitting in the press more often, but if you multiply that out by a year, it's a rather devastating figure. It's been proven that recreational therapy, whether it's fishing, it could be bowling, it could be taking the guys to NASCAR, just anything, showing people that you care and allowing them to forget the past, forget the future, and have fun for that one day makes a big difference. And as Kevin said, it's very touching to see how grateful people are. They just want a little time to get away. So it means a lot. Now, are we going to change that whole thing? Probably not. But if we save one guy, that's pretty important.
So that's an astounding statistic that I have heard. How many veterans are committing
Right.
suicide on a daily basis? Have you seen some of the despair, I guess, that they're facing when they come back, and what do you attribute that to? What do you think's happening here?
The military, and this is just my opinion, does a tremendous job of training people to go into the military and do their job, but not the greatest of how to get back into society. So anybody, if you don't mind me saying so, anybody can join us. Any skill that you can pay it forward to help a person get back into normal civilian life. It could be gardening, it could be cooking, it could be fishing, hunting, which Hugh McNaughton and Kevin and I talked about, maybe a turkey hunt. It really doesn't matter what it is, just show them that you care. And Kevin saw that, I think you saw it firsthand at the tournament. People thanked us so much, it was borderline ridiculous. I mean, it really was. It's very humbling.
How much does that mean when you get thanked a lot? I mean, how much does that mean?
It's hard to even put it in words. It really is. I mean, just to hear everybody, thank you so much for doing this, thank you for doing this, and you're like, don't worry about it, that's what we're here for. You know, it's what we're doing. That's what, you know, it's the payment for it right there. It's just hearing the thanks in it.
How did you come up with this idea? So it's the fishing, doing something outside, or NASCAR, or going to see a race. How did that come about?
Well, he came up with it, so I'll let him explain that one.
All right. What about that?
I'm what's called a Vietnam era veteran. I didn't go to Vietnam, but I grew up in that era, and I went in during that period. There was a stretch where you didn't like to admit that you were a veteran. You might have something thrown at you. It wasn't a real popular thing to be. And I think somewhere around 9/11 that began to change, and people started saying thank you for your service. But it began to be a little bit hollow, kind of like have a nice day. Mm-hmm. And that's what got the conversation going. Let's actually do something. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Just get out there and the standard phrase is pay it forward. Do what you can do. We took 2 veterans and their wives fishing 2 weeks ago. That's not a big deal, but boy, you should have seen the reaction. It was great. So that's where it came from.
And that is fascinating, the shift that you think has happened, or you've seen happen.
Yes.
So there was a period where people just awkwardly didn't say anything.
Right.
And then they started saying thank you for your service. That's nice, certainly an improvement over where we were.
Right.
But there needs to be even more. Is that what you're saying?
I'd say that sums it up exactly. And you know, if everybody would do this much, it'd be a better world. We know that we're not going to change the 22 veteran suicide per day. We know that. But if we can turn one guy's head around, which honestly I think we may have already done more than that, that's our goal. It's not in numbers. It's just get out there and do what you can. And Kevin's not rich. I'm certainly not rich. we could use help from the community, but what we're doing doesn't take that much. It takes more effort than anything else, I guess. Just a little bit of your time.
In the story we saw, it talked about how difficult it was to put together the first tournament. There's a lot involved there, right?
Time consuming.
I mean, what is involved putting these things together?
We got, getting sponsors, donations for the. We didn't do any kind of cash entries. We just did donation prizes for top finishers, big fish. Everything was just going out on foot and getting donations in for that. We had a bunch of people donate food. One guy came in and cooked food for us while we were there. We had more food than anything. I mean, it was a lot.
And how do you find the soldiers that go on the go out?
That just different places. We went through. I don't know the names of the ones that you contacted.
The VA has several sources, but really this first tournament, everything about it was a challenge. And a lot of that was because I'd never been in a tournament. I'd never held a tournament. Kevin had fished some tournaments. We certainly didn't know how to run one. And with almost no budget, advertising was kind of difficult. This show tonight is a wonderful thing. It really is. Because our next tournament is going to be like falling off a log. It's going to be so easy. We've already got some good sponsors. We've already got, 35 vets that came last time. And as far as I know, every single one of them wants to come back. So it's going to be quite an event next time, and just not nearly as difficult. Tomorrow night, as a matter of fact, we're having a meeting at Fate Sanders Marina with about 10 people that want to be involved. Well, that's 10 more than Kevin and I, and at the time Kevin was working a full-time job, and so I always told him it was 1.5. It was kind of tough with 1.5, but we did it, and we did a good job.
Well, I bet. I mean, it's an inspirational program. I want to take a break.
Yes.
Come back, take some phone calls. If you want to call, there's the number 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. We're also going to highlight some of the other winners, some of the other programs out there, and we can talk broadly about how can we, what can we do to help people who have served our country in this way. All right, we'll take a break. Be back right after this.